Good Wednesday morning. I'm meteorologist Byron Douglas on this June 18th. A lot going on. Maybe you just got set up at work, or you're enjoying your summer vacation, you're on break, and maybe you're watching from Florida. It's kind of neat because I can see Midday with Mike. He's up there taping, so it's a beehive of activity around here at the station at this hour. Welcome to our 8:30 stream. Mitch and Casey will be along with the news in a moment. Our alert day, we're going to pick it up during the afternoon. I'm going to show you where I think we're going to catch a break at times today. I'm not expecting a big outbreak of severe weather. And of course, on our Facebook stream, in our comment section, once I get caught up, I'll go and take a look at that, some of your comments. And then if you need a specific forecast, we'll try to answer those questions for you. But the alert day, all threat markers are available. There's not a lot of wind shear, so that's encouraging. Yes, we have the instability. It's our warmest morning when you factor in the dew point that we've had this year. And the Storm Prediction Center, I want to lead with this here. I'll put it up here pretty quickly because the Storm Prediction Center might make some updates. I don't anticipate any upgrades across the area to widespread or intense across our viewing area. So I think that's encouraging based on what I'm looking at. Now, I've been incorrect. The Storm Prediction Center has the official word, but I've had some questions on my earlier streams. I don't expect any major upgrade. But more counties were added here in the pre-dawn hours, includes all of our counties now across western Kentucky, classified as numerous severe thunderstorms. And I think a lot of this would be kind of toggling between 2 and 3 as far as our zones for severe weather. All right, we'll take a look at some of these threat markers, and I'll take these full in a moment. Does include a flooding threat. I'll take these full so you can see this. I'll get out of the way. From the Weather Prediction Center, the damaging wind threats have been upgraded to a 30% probability. Well, what does that mean? Well, a 30% opportunity 25 miles from where you are standing. I think that's the best way for me to explain it. 1-inch hail, and then along with that tornado threat, the Storm Prediction Center made some changes, generally all areas here, southwest Indiana and southern Illinois. So it is there. And as I mentioned, we have quite a bit of instability. This damaging wind threat for folks that are traveling includes Fort Wayne, Chicago, down through Paducah, to about St. Louis, all these areas here in red. So this is the damaging wind threat, especially if we get a squall line of storms going. Encompasses all of our counties. And one map I have loaded up here, the tornado threat. Covers good chunks of Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, up to about Cadillac, Michigan. So the severe weather threats, they generally will start to work as we work into summer, which officially starts on Friday. We'll start to hover along the U.S.-Canadian border. But as we mentioned, all threats are there. I'm encouraged because I don't think we're going to see a big subsequent round going into the pre-dawn hours on Thursday through the Thursday morning commute. So this has been cut back. We're in a general risk. So I think for the most part, we'd have a chance of rain on Thursday morning. But if you're looking for less humidity, Thursday is going to be your pick day on Juneteenth. All right, let's do some nowcasting on Doppler. I'll kind of fly the radar around. I'll show you a couple of zones that I'm looking at. We had a lot of lightning up through Lafayette, up through the Chicago area. So we're going to see how these outflow boundaries behave. Some storms there up through west central Illinois, up to about Quincy, Illinois, east of Hannibal, Missouri. And then we have some also additional lightning strikes down through Jonesville, Arkansas. The parent area of low pressure is right up over Jefferson City, Columbia, Missouri. It's moved a little farther to the east. So I'm going to circle some zones that I'm watching here over the next few hours. So some areas north of Indy up through Chicago, and then some areas to our south and west. On the visible satellite across southern Illinois, we are working in some sunshine, so that will destabilize the atmosphere. But the cold front's not going to move a whole lot here over the next 12 hours. It's going to stay to our north and west, so those firing lines for those thunderstorms will stay up to the north and west here early. And then after that, we'll see how, we'll use Doppler radar and just see how everything behaves as we go, and hopefully the storms do behave. Let's take a look at our current temps. Look at this. We're at 80 already, and we're forecasting a high of 88, and I'm going to show you the dew point. The dew point is at 75. That's our highest reading so far this year for the morning hours. We're in that uncomfortable range. Absent any thunderstorms, it's going to be breezy today. Now it's down a little bit. I was showing a gust earlier out of the southwest at 36 miles an hour. So here at the surface, we'll have a lot of winds here out of the southwest, but even at 15, 20, at 30,000 feet, the winds will be southwest and westerly. So there's not a lot of wind shear. And the winds are actually going to be higher at the surface than they are aloft. So we'll have some low-level wind shear as we go through the day, something we'll monitor. But we've had events where we've had alert days, winds are up over 100 miles an hour as we go up through the atmosphere. That's not the case today. So we don't have wind shear that you would see early spring, for example. So the best chances this afternoon and then into the evening hours are best set up for some showers and storms. I don't think everybody sees severe weather today. Here is the HRRR model, the rapid refresh model. It's showing less coverage than it did yesterday. Now this takes us to 1:30 this afternoon. I want to illustrate the modeling doesn't do a very good job with the outflow boundaries. So that's why we'll use Doppler radar to see how things work. But 3, 4, 5 p.m., you're showing some pretty big thunderstorms developing. Along that leading edge, that's where we could see the damaging winds. So 3, 4 o'clock. Now, kind of left southern Illinois off the board there, but you guys, the storms could set up anywhere. Fairfield, Madisonville. I'm going to push this line forward a bit. The line cycles through. What's encouraging, I don't see, the front still going to be out to our west. Another line of showers and storms developing late tonight. Yesterday at this time, it was showing another big line in during the pre-dawn hours. This does not. I'm going to switch the guidance. I'm going to switch over to the graph model. Winds are southwesterly. This is at 4 o'clock. Now it's not showing a lot of storm development. Yesterday, this was showing some storms starting earlier. So it's showing the atmosphere is nice and capped. This takes us to 6, 7 o'clock tonight. Some storms off to the east. And then when I mentioned with that front to our north and west, this is showing more of a nocturnal event where the storms will come in after dark. And it's not showing a big line of showers and storms. So that's encouraging. So based on these trends here, as I'll take this full, I don't see any storm upgrades. And we've had plenty of rain. Sometimes this is the time of year we're in the market for some showers. This takes us through tonight during that time frame. And then I'll show you the wide view as we go into Saturday. It's going to be the hottest weekend of the year to date overall during that stretch. High temps will be in the low 90s. The question is, will we get any heat advisories? Right now, it doesn't quite meet the criteria for a heat advisory over the weekend, but suffice it to say, it's going to be hot and dry. We haven't had a dry weekend. I think you have to go back to April. And come back and check with Jeff later today. He's really good about breaking down what's happened about every day. There's decent chances for showers and storms. Juneteenth, we're at 85. 90 on Friday. And then as we go into Sunday at 94 during that stretch. So we're going to be well above average. All right, I'm going to just take a look at some of your comments, then we'll have Mitch along with Casey in a moment. Folks watching down in Cleeton, down there south of Drakesboro, north of Drakesboro, near the hamburger stand there. And the tornado threat, it is there, so all storm threats are available. Scott Mason, I think his band's playing there at Friday After 5. You know, Friday After 5 looks good. No threat for storms. This is going to be one of the driest Fridays since, I believe, the second week. Good morning to you there, Sabrina. I appreciate all of you. Craig, good morning. Diane, to you. So I'm going to take this full. We're going to take this full. We're spinning plates here. And then we're going to have Mitch and Casey in a moment.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert Weather app, on your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app, and stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good morning.
Hey,
Mitch
good
and Casey
morning.
here today.
Thanks for joining us. How's everybody doing out there? Hope we're all well. Happy Wednesday, June 18th. We're here.
We are on alert day, of course. I know that's kind of the main thing you folks are wanting to tune in and kind of get a grasp on what to expect today. Byron just kind of recapped all of that. So we appreciate you tuning in. But as always, Mitch and I are going to join now to kind of go over some headlines for you this morning here in our CTV room. So we're on our our 1 week anniversary of this CTV streaming show. And we hope y'all have enjoyed it so far. We like doing this.
Yeah, and for those who are just joining in for the first time here with the Alert Day, of course, Byron goes first. We're after him. Same as the 2:30 show with Rob and Jamie and Arden or Michael, whoever's here. Basically, it's a one-man band in here, a two-man band, if you will, right now in our CTV room. We kind of run our own video, our own graphics and all that. It's a lot more casual as well. So for those watching us on Facebook or YouTube, we both have our Facebooks pulled up right now, watching the stream on there. Please ask us questions. Right now, obviously, we're on Alert today. That's our big story for the day here. But if anybody's out there has got any sort of, storm rituals you do, or if you've got places like, everybody have a plan out there where you're going to shelter if necessary, that kind of stuff. Talk to us about it. We want to hear about it. We want to talk to you guys, let you get to know us better and vice versa.
Yeah, we'll recap some news headlines for you. And then after that, we're going to check in on these comments. I will say, just to kind of help you guys, what we're kind of looking for, my mother-in-law, for instance, of course, they are no stranger to severe weather. They're in Madisonville, Kentucky. What she does before any big storm is she has a box of things that she can easily get to that she would like keepsake items, family photos and certain things that when they do need to go to their safe spot for a storm, she grabs that box, and that's kind of her ritual. That they have flashlights, of course, a weather radio, and then any family photos that mean a lot to her, and of course the house cat. She got to grab her two cats and get them in there.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of what they do. If you guys want to take some time and share that in the comments, we'll get to those in just a little bit. But now we've got some headlines.
Let's do it.
So three this morning.
First one here for you, though. An update on a pool reopening after all of the flooding this week. Of course, talking some sports. And then, of course, we'll share a video out of California we talked about this morning that may remind you to lock your doors. Starting off, though, let's go to Burdett Park,
all right? Let's
start off with the latest on that pool reopening there. Burdett Park's pool's back open after flooding this week here. There are, of course, some restrictions, though. They're still cleaning up the damage there at the family and kids pools. Assistant Director Colton Meyer tells us with this cleanup, it gives them a chance now to do some more maintenance for other areas. They're planning to have the family and kids pool open by either sometime today or tomorrow. So, of course, in the meantime, we'll keep you updated.
We've done some additional cleanup work that normally we don't have the time to do during operation. So we're hoping that once the pool is in the condition that we need to be in, the facility is going to look even better than it did beforehand.
All right, now they're planning to have the family and kids pool open by either Wednesday or Thursday. So, of course, as we approach that and we find out more ourselves in 14 News, of course, we'll let you all know at home.
That's right. We're going to switch things over to sports now. We're talking Tecumseh softball. It was a night full of cheers there at the softball field. As you can see, the community really came together for a state title celebration. The Lady Braves head coach, Gordon Wood, spoke on each player's contributions as fans packed the stands to celebrate the champs. Of course, it's always a momentous occasion to win a state title. But for the senior class, who has now won, Mitch, 3 state titles in their 4 years, they've got some incredible memories that they will, I'm sure, be fond of for the rest of their lives. Here's Kinsey Johnson saying that she has a lot to be grateful for.
Getting to end this year with my friends and going to state 4 times, it's just an unreal thing. It's so crazy, and to be able to do that is a gift. It's a blessing.
Well, you can hear more from Coach Wood in our Road to Victory special. That's happening on Thursday at 6:30. We really encourage you guys to check that special out. They've worked hard on it, our sports team. They're going to go in depth on not just Tecumseh's state title, but also preview the state title games for Mater Dei, North, and Jasper. All schools we are so proud of here in the Tri-State. Don't miss it. You can join us on 14 News. That'll be again Thursday night at 6:30. They're going to talk with coaches and players from all three baseball teams and just hear more stories from the Braves there. Again, check that out. I know Max Parker has been kind of letting you all know about that, so be sure to tune in.
Should be very cool. Now to our favorite story of the morning
This'll be
here.
great.
Caught on camera, a dog named Doodle came snout to snout with a bear in his California
Security
home.
camera
There's the
video
video
caught
right
the
there.
moment.
We're actually going to cut out the audio so you can just watch this. You see him kind of be brave for a second, think it over, give a sniff here and there, and then Doodle, after holding his ground, says, no thanks. Goes under the couch there as the intruder continues to search the house, but says, no thank you. Of course, the community here close to the mountains, neighbors say they're used to seeing bears in the area, just not in their kitchens. You can see there that animal has a tracker on its neck, so it's likely been caught breaking and entering before. Clearly did not waver it this time either. Went right back in the house.
He is not a first-time offender. I think he's a pro at this point. So it's one thing we don't see in the state of Indiana. Bears roaming, but hey, never say never. So
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, that story was great. I actually saw that. I was telling you last night. That came up on my own feed. I think I was scrolling Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, that poor dog." I have two dogs, two German Shepherds, and I don't think they would be as brave as Doodle was there. So shout out Doodle.
Held it down.
Good for you.
Absolutely.
All right, get to the comments.
To talk
here.
about this. So
Yeah.
once again here, talking about storms, of course, the big alert day here before we get into what's going to be a very, very warm, nice weekend.
Yeah.
Casey, see anything off the top of your head there?
Let's see here. I know we have a lot of events in the Tri-State, of course. We're keeping an eye on Friday after 5. Just family get-togethers this weekend, I'm sure. So yeah, today's kind of the day that we are on alert. Let's look through some of these. We always like to say hi to everybody. I know Lisa says good morning. We have a good morning from Sabrina Landrum. Hello, Sabrina. And I think Byron got to a lot of the questions that were asked.
Yeah.
No meteorologist, so we can recap his weather at the beginning of this.
No doubt, no doubt.
Someone asked, did a tornado get near Jeff Lyons' house? I don't know. We'll have to ask him. Oh,
I don't want
You
to
said-
disclose where he
I know, let's
lives,
not
so
get
I'll
that
answer neither
information.
here nor there, but it's possible.
Yeah.
I do think while we're looking at comments and
Sure.
everything, a big thing to talk about here, we talk about it all the time doing our own stories of weather. Obviously, Casey and I are certainly no meteorologists. We are not doing calculus. Leave that to Byron and Jeff and them. But some general good tips is if severe weather's coming, obviously if you have a basement or a place into your room, go there. Another important tip to you don't think about a lot, but I've actually learned from people when I've been covering storms is bring tennis shoes.
Yes.
You don't think about that at all.
That
but
is a great piece of advice. I always try to keep my phone charged too.
That's
When
it,
I know a day like this is happening, I'm really bad about keeping my car near the empty, keeping my phone battery near empty. So that's one thing that I've been trying to get better about is, make sure your phone stays charged throughout today. And we actually did get a weather radio for the first time for Christmas.
We got one
Shout
too.
out to my mom for that. And we've been using it, and it's a good thing to have handy. So,
doubt.
and I've also heard people, they grab their tennis shoes. Some people even keep helmets for.
I mean, whatever it takes.
No.
I've heard of people dragging mattresses downstairs, whatever you got to do. But I think the shoe thing is so interesting. And you mentioned too, we'll talk about this in a second, kind of that box of keepsake stuff.
Yeah.
But God forbid your house is hit by a tornado or a storm. But in the event you've got to walk over rubble, you don't want to be barefoot. That's just adding extra to it. And talking about, a special keepsake box, if you will.
Yes.
Maybe not keepsakes per se, but not a terrible idea to keep a backpack around if you know weather's coming, to have waters or a granola bar, weather radio, whatever you need,
Yes.
something like that. Also a great tip for winter weather when we get there. Obviously, it's June right now, but
Yep.
always good call to have some supplies on you anywhere you go. You don't want to go full doomsday prepper, but feel free to have ways to be prepared.
Yeah, I know
So,
in the wintertime, my mom's always like, just keep an extra jacket, maybe a blanket in the back of your car. But we'll get to it's it's too hot to
ways
think
away
about
from
that
that,
right
yeah.
now. So yeah, just some good tips there. I'm trying to we're reading and talking at the same time here. So right now, just again, feel free to comment even after this live feed ends. You all can just join the conversation with each other there. This will be posted to the 14 News Facebook page. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we do in our home. Just really the app has been a saving grace. It kind of gives you a peace of mind. We talked about downloading that this morning. Mitch, it's over on 14 News.
I do.
You
do.
tell the spiel where people can go to
I
find
might remember
it.
the entire script right now.
I know,
Okay,
right?
so
It's
normally we
easy,
have a
right?
graphic with a QR code,
code.
but obviously it's free to download. Just search up 14 First Alert. That's App Store, Google Play, whatever. It's free to get. It is one of those things. Obviously, we're the news station. We're going to promote our own stuff, but for what it's worth, I know Arden and and Michael and Byron and Jeff are updating that constantly. They're very on top of it. And if you don't know, there's actually a sound feature, and it's Jeff Lyons' voice. And I didn't know about that when I started working here. And during severe weather, he woke me up and spooked me about 2 in the morning for a
Jeff,
tornado.
what are you doing here? Like that bear in the house.
Right. I was going to say here, too, I saw Carol asked a question about tornadoes and flooding since April normal for Evansville. And I know Anna kind of answered it already, Anna Young. But it's something we talked about a little bit here at 14 is interesting thing. Tornado Alley apparently has kind of shifted east. So we're in it, which is
an interesting story.
Yeah.
I think our Jordan Yaney shared a package on that, kind of saying that things are starting to move a little, and that story is, I'm sure, on 14news.com if y'all want to check that out. I found that very interesting.
It's very interesting.
Because when I lived in the South, I was always like, I'm from Tornado Alley. That's where I'm from, and they were like, oh yeah, that's you guys have a lot of crazy weather there. So it's definitely something to just always keep an eye on, stay on top of. We're sorry if we have to cut in during any sporting events and stuff. It's just to keep you safe. But
Perfect.
I'm trying to see. I don't believe that we have any more comments. Sometimes we see them
Nothing
after it's over, and we're like, oh no, we missed that. So thank you for saying hi, and thank you for tuning in. Again, this is our week 1 now.
Technically, yes.
And it really makes us happy to know that people are enjoying this and catching on. Maybe tell your friends and family, coworkers, if they didn't catch us on the morning show every day at 8:30.
We'll be here.
As long as you have one of these with you, you can join us. So.
No doubt. And then important note here before we go, of course, we're expecting that weather to hit around the afternoon time, the alert day itself. And of course, we'll have our 2:30 stream show as well before the 4 o'clock news. So you'll have that break between the noon and 4, the 2:30 show with Rob and Jamie, and then either Arden or Michael or Jeff, even whoever's around at that point. That's around afternoon time when the weather should be hitting, so we'll have a more up-to-date forecast at that point. So be sure to tune back in for that as well. Once again, same platform. That's Facebook, YouTube, our app, Roku, Apple TV, all that good stuff. And they'll have more on that. And then for us, though, I think wrap this thing up.
Just quickly adding to that, I like to talk. We also have introduced kind of a new format for our noon. I'll see you all at the 11 a.m. show on 14 News. But of course, we have a new kind of format for the noon that's really focused on weather now. Arden's, Gregory's doing a great job putting that together. So it'll be a very filled show today, of course, and things can always change. So I'll see you all at 11 with Arden, and again, an hour at noon where we're going to kind of, again, keep things very weather-based today, as that is the name of the game here on this Wednesday. So,
but all right, I guess you want to call
we can say
up?
bye now.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks
Well,
again for joining.
Yeah, once again, everybody on the Facebook right now, we're watching that. We appreciate you joining us this morning. Sorry I'm like holding it like I'm emceeing,
our
but
mics.
it falls on its own.
I gave him the bad mic, so sorry, Mitch, my bad.
But
I
we'll
do
be
have
back
to click
here.
all the buttons, though. So,
Yeah, it's a fair trade-off. Every Monday through Friday, 8:30, we'll be here, ourselves and Byron. Feel free to join us and ask questions, anything like that. We'd love to talk to you guys, get to know you, that kind of thing. So you want to call it a day?
All right, we'll see you guys right back here tomorrow.
Take care, guys.
Bye. Thanks for watching.